Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Good, Borchu. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Stream. Okay. We're up to Katani.
No,
No?
the Brighton before that.
What? Call Maksha?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Call Maksha, that's Mochayev. Okay. Anybody who intentionally makes himself aroused is liable to death. Anybody who's marked himself should be put in cherem. I'm not sure how anybody else finds out to put in cherem, but it's obviously theoretical because that's famous. V'lema asur, let's say just asur. You know, it says here at the bottom. My time of why is it different? Any other prohibition that it says you should be put in cherem? So that's Megare Yetzer Hara Anavshay. Because you are arousing yourself, the Yetzer Hara. In other words, you should not by other averos. Okay, you know the Yetzer Hara comes from the outside. But here, if a person is masturbating, so then he's doing it to himself. Okay, Shema Mina Asli Gab Erva. That's what concludes that you're not allowed to touch the erva. Anybody who urinates. Anybody touches the organ and urinates maybe mabu olam. As if it brings the flood to the world. My time of wine, touching brings a person to be able to become he aroused or heated. The chima the yetzer and the becoming heated brings a person to yetzer hacheshek. Interesting language. The desire of the desire of lust. Tana, but the Gemara says there's the gvul yeshla. It's not every place on the Eder. Mator lamala mutzah from above the I think it's called the corona, and towards the body it's mutzah. Mator lamata also from the bottom of the corona towards the tip it's also. In other words, it arouses a person. Let's see what he said about it. I think it's the opposite. As Torah's fast gavoh hamakefes as rosh hagid, lamala min haguf. No, he says the opposite. That above there means until the tip is mutter. Until lamata also. From the corona to the body is also. But this is all talking about a person who is not yet married. But somebody who's married, from grabbing on, he doesn't get so aroused. At the time he's urinating, obviously. If it's not deliberately masturbating, then urinating is not such an issue. That's a double we talk about desire and lust and inappropriate behavior. So 1 cup of wine is good for a woman. When she drinks 2 cups of wine, it makes her disgusting. And the Rabbi Chaim says, because she drinks so much wine, then she becomes more lusty. If she has 3 cups, then she demands having relations outright, which is considered to be not sneistic. Even more not sneistic, evidently, than what she does with 2 cups. Arba, if she has 4 cups, also, even if a donkey wants to have relations with her, ain't a makperes. So evidently that she is so wanton at that point that she doesn't particularly care what she commits the violation with, not just who, but what. And again, this is not the limitations of this. Shame Bali Ma. That's when her husband's not around. A Bali Ma, but if her husband's around, Masapka, which kind of translates as Klamar Masapik Labal to a when her husband is around, he can give her as much wine as he wants to give her. She doesn't have to be limited. Because obviously, even if she gets overly desirous, so her husband is around. Mesa, the question, right? It says that Hannah got up after eating in Shiloh and after she drank. So the Gemara says, Shasaso lo ne'amar. It says Shaso, not Shasaso. So Gemara wants to assume this is in masculine and not feminine. It means she got up after she ate, and her husband drank. She didn't drink. Her husband did the drinking. Right? So in this we learned that, if a woman is demanding that her husband's out of town, she wants to have wine. She wants the wine to be supplied out of her husband's funds. We don't give it to her because women don't drink. Besides the maybe let's say that when her husband's with her, she can get wine. So when in that case, the Kana was with her, why didn't she drink wine? It's a little bit convoluted, right? It's saying that we don't stipulate wine for a woman, but it sounds. I guess it's saying even if her husband's in town, we don't stipulate wine for women. When I guess we'll talk about it ways mashra osai deshlish, where somebody's even though he's town, he's feeding her through a third party. So it sounds like we don't give her wine to drink, but why not if her husband is with her? So it says, they were guests. They were guests in Shiloh. And it says, guests not allowed to have relations in the house of the host. Says they got up early in the morning after Eli blessed them. They bowed down to Hashem. And they came back home to their house in Ramah. Now Hashem gave her a pregnancy because they weren't allowed to have relations when they were guests in Shiloh, right? So that's why Hannah didn't drink, only he drank. So I'm not sure. I think this is it's a
question. It's a question.
And when it says, so it says, they were anyway leaving shortly. Shows Mamruba, allowed to have relations if they have a special room. My impression was that we also supposed to have bring their own sheets, if I recall correctly. But in any event, it just says you have to have your own room, and then it's okay. Okay, now we shift gears. Starting the combination, young children who die, we see greet the divine presence. The children will serve Hashem. Let's see how Rabbi Chaim explains it. Right? That's the way one of the reasons why we're against abortion is because if a child is born, even though he didn't do mitzvahs, there's Ochdom Haba. It's not clear if a child is aborted if he has like Ochdom Haba. No, it's the sources differ on that topic, but it's clear that here the katan who's born does have a Ochdom Haba. Okay, and he says this is for generation to generation he will serve Hashem. In other words, not just the generation which he was born, which obviously he missed because he died, so he wasn't able to do mitzvahs, but eventually he'll be brought back to life. And then he'll serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu in that new state. He's going to come back and serve Hashem alive again. So it could be, could have been talking about a Gilgul, but it seems not that way. It seems quite clear that we're talking about coming back in Olam Haba and serving Hashem in Olam Haba. People Gemara says you them base. Charamar Mishah sheyoidim ledaber. From when are they candidates to come back from the time that they know to speak? Michsiv Yisupar, it says when they can tell over. Mishashim Misaprim. Rabbi Amar Mishashim Nizra Azera. Oh, way earlier. From the time of conception. Afilu Meisha. From the time that there's conception. Afilu Pila Imo Benimcha. And even if his mother was miscarried and the child was dissolved, so to speak, it still comes from Abba. So therefore, we have here, as I said, in other words, according to Ravina, even a fetus. According to the other opinion, no, a fetus not, and even a young child not until it actually fully knows how to speak. Okay, so it says Gemara, very, very fundamental question. Iboilu. The question: Mechaprin avon avos olo. Can a child, with his activities, atone for the father's sins? Okay, not about the death of a child, Rahman Yisrael. That we know atones for the parents' sins. It's about the deeds that a child does after as an orphan. Do they actually have an impact on the father's or the parents' destiny? Okay, so Tashma, it's proof. It's very, like I said, it's very famous Gemara. Tashma Rabbi Niva Navav Lu Asra. He came to a certain place. Ashkelu Gava Davi Dori Tula. Some person was bearing a heavy load, a cafe in his shoulders. You couldn't walk with it. He was crying and groaning. So he said to him, what's your story in life? So he said, so evidently he went. This is actually about a case where he saw him not in this world, but he saw him in the Olam Amis, and he said, there's no Israel I did not forsake in this world. And now they put guards over me. And I can't rest. So he's in Gehenna working the whole time. He's in Gehenna with hard labor. Did you leave a child in this world? In your life, I took an oath. Lo tashlin. You change the gears on the bottom here. Lo tashi to lo tashlin to lo tashiyin. Right? Okay, it says Al tashosi b'shelos. Don't delay me with questions. I'm afraid of the malachi chavola who are beating me with stripes of fire, and they're urging me. If I answer your questions, I'm going to get. It's going to be worse for me. So leave me alone, right? So that's it says here. I'm afraid of malachim. The malachim pulsi to hitting me with stripes of fire. They say, "Am I taste of fear? Why aren't you coming quickly?" I'm aim alay the nichusach. So again, he changed the gears to the bottom. He said, "Amarle ma the manchas." Come, Amarle. Nevertheless, tell me, what do you leave over in this world? So Amarle said, "He nachti yishamu beres. I left a wife who's pregnant, a woman who's pregnant. So he asked, where's this good guy's son? So he said, they said, may the memory of that person be forgotten and may his bones be ground up. Because he was a very wicked person. They said inside now. So what's that place? Louis said to them, braid the ploni hecha. Where's the son of this guy? They said, may his memory be uprooted. This person shachik katzamas, may his bones be gone. Why? They said, he was a bandit and he ate people up. I don't think literally, but point to say he robbed people. But Sarah also because anguished people. Oh, now that Elishabal now I'm Rosa Yom Kippurim had relations with a woman who was betrothed to somebody else in Kippur. Also, basically, so he went to the guy's house. Ashkach eat the same muvarta. The time that the woman was still pregnant. Not sure at the older. He waited till she gave birth. Also, Maale, he went and gave a bris milah to the son. He got out when he grew up. The child, he put him up in a shul, levruche bekala, to say Borchu. He says here in the footnote that it's Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky also ish matzah shishtamu beres shomad yota hach moch malo kigada hiyoshim beisnes amar Kaddish uvorchu because Kaddish is not actually mentioned here. And that but this is the source for a child saying Kaddish for a father. But Kaddish is not actually mentioned here. So he mentions specifically Borchu. But somehow, over the years, that got extended to mean actually more Kaddish than Borchu. Right?
Okay.
Said, so Rabbi eventually went back to that place in Gehenna, I guess, he went back and meditated and saw that spot. He's Chazile, and the deceased came to him. May you get nachas ruach shinachtas daiti, because you were maniach maidas. So he says here, ban yonach yikilos smokem yelos memele tunot daiti nachtas daiti or matta shektani mechapim avonatos. So we see that the children's activities in this world, simply in this case of Saint Kaddish and Borchu, alleviates the suffering of their parents in the Olam Ha'emes. Okay, should we go weiter or stop here?
I think we'll stop here.
Okay, did you ever hear this more before?
No.
No, this is it. This Kalla Rabbasi. It's not in Shas anyway. Not in the major shots and stuff. There's the source for Borchu and Kaddish. For Aviv, uplifting his parent, his father, mother after Petira. Okay.
Interesting. Shkoyach.
Okay. Have a great week.
You too. Bye.